Hello, welcome everyone. Today we are discussing the urgent need to decarbonize and how initiatives like Zero Emissions Day can help in the process. I am here with Geet Singh. He is the Director of Energy and Decarbonization at Evalueserve, and he has been instrumental in securing strategic decarbonization engagements with leading energy companies. So Jeet will take us through the progress, the challenges, and strategies moving forward on decarbonization goals. Thank you for being here, Jeet.
Thank you, Marcela.
So tell me, in your opinion, how can these initiatives like Zero Emissions Day help raise awareness and drive action toward decarbonization?
Thank you for asking the question, Marcela. Zero Emissions Day and similar initiatives, I believe, are great ways to raise awareness and encourage a joint action towards climate change, right? End of the day, it allows us to pause and reflect everything that we do daily. How can that impact the way carbon emissions are generated? It is from the way we work, the way we consume, and the way we waste are the
Yes.
elements that are impacting the entire world. If we take a collective break as a world from these emissions, even if for a day, it shows us that these small changes, if scaled up on a large scale, can lead to significant reductions. Importantly, at a global level, these are encouraging conversations. That is, it puts strong light on the need for decarbonization. It pushes the governments, corporations, and individuals like us to think about sustainable practices and how it can be adopted and the need to adopt them. I think if successful, these initiatives can inspire broader policy changes and commitments on sustainable practices in each of our daily lives.
Uh-huh. So, how far along do you think we are in the journey towards global decarbonization? And are there any key obstacles that need to be addressed in order to attain the goal?
I believe we've made significant steps towards the wider decarbonization. And as we have seen since the last few years, many countries have taken net zero targets either by 2050 or very close to that. And then there are various sectors, especially power, which is renewable energy, transport and construction, which have already started to make significant strides towards achieving this goal. However, we are still very far away to meet the target of 1.5 degrees that was set by the UNFCCC. There are various obstacles that still remain. One of the major challenges is for some of the industries, the technological development has not been at pace at what the expectations was, especially what we classify as the hard to abate sectors. These are sectors
Mhm.
like aviation, heavy industry, in agriculture. They still do not have cost-effective solutions that can be implemented at scale to deliver decarbonization, and that's a key challenge. And then overall, especially if you look at emerging economies, there is a tendency to be over-reliant on fossil fuels, which continues to hamper progress as we want to move towards a net zero world. And then, in terms of overall implementation, a challenge that exists is financing, because there is significant capital required to fund these transition initiatives, especially in the early stages as they are scaling up. There is more financing incentives required, which is not uniform across the globe. And many a times for corporations as well, it is not existing in the form and the frameworks that it is required. Now, without significant investments in global cooperation, I fear that the pace of decarbonization might be delayed.
Oh, I see. But within the current decarbonization efforts, in your opinion, what are some of the most effective strategies that are being implemented to reduce emissions?
I think the corporations on a whole, across sectors, have taken a very good holistic view. A lot of the companies are talking about various ways how they can green their generation, whatever they generate, their value chain, their product portfolio, and what they consume. And then, in order to do that, depending on the operations of each of the companies, we have observed focus on key pillars, what Evalueser calls decarbonization
Mhm.
pillars, that they are leveraging either individually or in combination. These pillars include clean energy, clean hydrogen, circular economy, future mobility, low carbon products, and carbon offset credits. For instance, when I say clean energy, in this space, we see corporations transitioning towards renewable energy, which is, of course, solar, wind, and hydropower. Then, overall, if you look at it within clean energy as well, there is a transition happening towards power purchase agreements. More and more companies are committing to agreements with power producers to secure such power for longer duration, so these investments are secured. Similarly, in clean hydrogen, it is a go-to fuel for hard-to-abate industry sectors like steel, cement, power generation again, off-road industrial automotive applications, and the heavy-duty road transport area. Then comes circular economy, which is it's a very loaded word. It can mean a lot of things, and companies across the spectrum are taking a lot of initiatives in this space. For instance, consumer goods companies or what we call brand owners are increasingly designing their products to reduce the content of packaging or are using materials and types of packaging that can ensure that the collection of the waste generated from their products is very high. And then even these companies are going down into the value chain, implementing interventions, which can either be about improving collection of waste so that recycling rates could be higher, and overall pursuing initiatives like implementing recycling plans, initiatives so that their waste can be reduced. On the other hand, polymer companies who supply to these companies and various other sectors, they are also implementing technologies to recycle what was earlier classified as hard to recycle plastics, which is predominantly multi-layered plastics. So now these companies are leveraging advanced technology to set up chemical recycling or pyrolysis oil production plants, which can take into account these multi-layered plastics and generate uh, pyrolysis oil, which can be reused across various applications within the hydrocarbon value chain, but also back into the packaging overall value chain as well. And then there have been a lot of innovative applications wherein there are companies across the world and breakthrough innovations focusing on converting waste into sustainable aviation fuel, looking at implementing plastic waste into roads, and then construction material that goes into home construction, etc. At Evalueserve, we've been supporting various multiple clients across these pillars. Waste to energy and circular economy has been a key focus area for us. But then there are also combining it with other pillars, like the ones that I talked about, carbon offset credits. Evalueserve has been helping our clients maximize the overall carbon offset generation and improve the returns for their sustainable initiatives by helping them leverage our carbon offsets platform. In another case, we supported a leading construction company to look at circular economy and then define the business direction that they want to take in terms of finding new applications which are both sustainable and can support their growth. Then we've also worked in various other areas like helping clients enter the green hydrogen market, helping them formulate go-to-market strategies, supporting them with technology insights that are required for them to build their business in a commercial way.
So the future of business is undoubtedly green, right? I would like to know how optimistic are you about the world's ability to meet these global carbon reduction targets and what needs to happen to keep it on track, right? So, which actions would you recommend people to do both individually and collectively to support these goal zero emissions?
While I would have liked to be very optimistic, I would say that I will be cautiously optimistic. There has been significant good progress that has been made so far on initiatives perspective and on the availability of technology, which gives us hope. And that is why we are hopeful. But we seriously need to accelerate our efforts if we want to stay on track to the global carbon reduction targets. And there are various analysis and estimates available, many of which predict that we have already lagged behind and we
Yeah.
might not meet the 1.5 degree centigrade target. But in order to accelerate, we need stronger policy commitments from governments all across. We need deeper investments in green technologies and a widespread adoption of lower carbon solutions. I think overall international collaboration is a key because only a part of the world taking initiatives will not solve the puzzle. And
Yes.
therefore, we need to collectively support the developing countries in technology transfer and financing as required. At a corporate level, companies must integrate sustainability into their core strategies, just like our client did, in terms of how can we find new growth areas within sustainability, which of course has a balance of sustainability and growth and takes the company together on both the pillars.
Mhm.
We individuals can also contribute a lot. I mean, one of the key elements is reducing, right, what we use, the energy use,
Right.
opting for sustainable transport, and of course, advocating greener policies. These small actions can really go a long distance in making good change. And I think collectively, if we continue to push for ambitious climate action and support innovations, we should be able to meet our goals on track. Thank
Yes.
you.
That's definitely true. Well, thank you very much for these insights, Geet. This has been great. Um, it is clear that there are challenges ahead, right? But we all have a role in driving meaningful impact towards a more sustainable future, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for joining.